All right, it is March 31st. This is a special meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. We have everyone in attendance either by Zoom or live except Jim Green. I guess he's trying to get in. He's trying to get in, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so we call it to order. Audience of citizens. Seeing no one, I'll close audience of citizens. Approval of minutes for February 17th, 2022 meeting. Does everyone see those?
I have. I make a motion to approve the February 17th.
I'll second that.
I have quite a few changes to that. I gave you a
I'm sorry.
copy there, and that's, they're in red. For those on the phone, most of the changes really are putting the right discussions on the right timeline. I think the context is important. On page 2, I just made a clarification on my statement. I was referring to the course in New York. It was in bad shape, not Longshore. And then on page 6, I took the paragraph that was on page 8 and I moved it because that discussion about CPI occurred while the town manager and the mayor were here. So I moved the what was discussed on page 8. I didn't change anything. I moved it to page 6, so it's in the right time frame. And making a note there that on page 6, the mayor and the town manager left the meeting at this point. Then I just added a clarification as to my question on when we were gonna be on the agenda so that we could plan, and that consensus was for April. And then page 8.
That was changed on page 5 too.
Alright, there's some minor.
Yeah, the minor one.
What did I put on page 5?
Mayor.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it said the golf commission will look into putting it on the town council. Well, we don't put things on the agenda. The mayor said he'd get us on the agenda. Page 8 took out that paragraph that I moved to 6 to keep it in context. And then there was a statement made, we discussed the Remzi's form, and I changed it. It said that Mark Bayram will talk with Remzi, and what happened was Jerry suggested that both he and Mark Bayram speak with Remzi together. And those are the changes that I will submit. Have submitted.
If these are approved, we'll email this to Alina. Because she can't change the minutes that were submitted, but she can submit the changes.
Right, understood.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
All right, so we need a new motion to
I'd like to make a
approve.
motion to accept the minutes as amended,
I'll
or
second.
with the changes noted in these minutes.
All right, seconded by Jim Norton. All in favor?
Aye.
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 So
Thank
moved.
you.
All right.
Good job here.
Old business. We have one. Brightview. It was asked to put this on the agenda. All we know is with Brightview that right now it is not happening. It is not dead, but it is tabled. The mayor clearly stated that we're making money, everything is fine, so why bother? Plus he doesn't want to sell contractors because he's had a bad experience. So, having said that, right now it's tabled because of, as well as that the town manager is, as you know, put out a proposal, not a proposal, but a request for interview for a director of golf / golf pro position, and that is in the works. There are very few applicants from what I understand, and that process is ongoing. Other than that, I don't know much about it. So I don't know if, you know, what the real plan is or what the result is going to be based on that. When I know something, I'll let you guys know.
Is it up to us, Peter, to make a recommendation to the town?
Probably
A
not,
formal
but we will make a formal recommendation when we know. We absolutely have the ability to do that. But at this point, there's not much going on.
Well, put it this way, I mean, this is not something that's gonna happen on a turn of a dime, right? I mean,
Correct.
there is a implementation plan, if we're even gonna consider this thing, it has to happen and quick. Because, you know, it's gonna be months down the road, even if it comes into next year, this is something you probably wanna start, from my own experience, in this, sometime, in this next month or two.
What are you referring to, the director of golf or the
No,
Brightview?
Brightview.
Hmm?
Because it's just not gonna happen overnight, and there's, you know, everybody has to be on board, and there's a lot of planning that has to go into play. And, you
Well,
know, we're behind the eight ball to start with.
if the commission wants, now, you know, as Marosha was alluding to, we could go in front of council and make a recommendation and all this other stuff if we wanted to. And that's still very much a possibility, if you guys wanna do that. I didn't really pursue it because they're dead set against it right now. So it's just beating a dead horse as far as I'm concerned.
Truthfully, I just assume get it out there, and whatever happens at that point in time, because.
If they're gonna push it off to the side, which I don't have a problem in taking time and really going through this, what I'm more concerned is will they change our responsibility to not break even? Is that, I mean, there's the key, and you brought it up when we talked at the last meeting. You know, they are pushing that we make budget and then some. Well,
That's exactly
If
what,
they're
that's
gonna-
exactly what when he was here, that's exactly why I said, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
exactly.
Okay.
So how do we move forward to make them change that during the interim, whether we move forward with this or not? We have to
Listen.
change that portion of it.
Personally, and I can't speak for anybody but myself, if they didn't care about the numbers, then I don't care. I don't care about Brightview, I don't care about anything other than the course being maintained and looking good
Okay.
and everything else. That's my personal opinion.
And then we shouldn't put much weight on the fact that if we don't make budget, is that,
I
should
think
we not put much weight on that? I'm just,
Yeah, I agree with you, I agree, exactly what you're saying. I think we should go to the town council or to the town manager and say, we wanna be on an ordinance meeting agenda, because we wanna talk about this. I wanna talk about
if
it,
you can't
Right.
give our suggestions,
I
so
agree,
we
get rid of it.
It's fine, just
Get rid of
put this over our heads.
Because what Jim showed for record is that if we went with the outsourcing, we would save a lot of money. Alright, and that's a lot of money savings to the town. Alright, so if you wanna do the right thing, council, get rid of the ordinance. Get rid of the ordinance and we'll go away.
That's,
Alright, if you're not gonna get rid of the ordinance, guess what? We're gonna be a pain in your, you know what?
because they come down on us
Right,
for not
exactly,
making.
exactly.
Well, they're, you know, in all due respect to them, they're smart because everything's upon us, right? When the course is doing well, they look good, right?
And we're about to
we-
get
and we
hit.
look good, and we
Right,
look
Jerry,
good.
we're about to get hit this year pretty hard
With,
I mean, even now, I mean, you mentioned it in the beginning, but now as I listen to the news and stuff, everybody's talking about farming prices, everything from fertilizers and everything that we use
Yeah.
is going through the roof, and I'm
That
hearing
was
it
all-
more.
You're locked
Yes.
in though, right?
Well, we have all that.
So he's all right.
I am all set, I took that all into account with this budget FY '23 budget cycle, we're fine, we're fine,
Okay, so we're not gonna,
yeah.
it's not gonna be a big hit.
The issue that
Oh,
you're,
no,
Okay,
no,
good.
no,
your issue is gonna be play, cause play is gonna be down. And they're already saying players will be done, because people are going back to work. And we knew that.
Disposable income is gonna drop, and you're gonna see fewer players showing up
Correct,
to play
That's
as
right.
inflation keeps going sky high.
correct. I think we all agree with that, and plus, people are going back to work, so the amount of rounds that are gonna be played are gonna go down anyway. The amount of players that you're gonna see going, they will be, I'm not sure it'll be significantly less than last year, but it will go down. And that's exactly what they're saying, and that's just the forecast. So,
But let me ask you a question, if we don't, say this upcoming year, we lose money, what's gonna happen to us as a commission?
Get scolded.
Well, truly,
Let's go
there's
with
no
this.
consequences to the ordinance.
Wasn't it a 3-year
I agree with you on that, but you know, what we need to do is then next year, when it comes time to come up with the rates and everything, don't even go into consideration if we lost.
that's why I'm saying, we should just press the issue and put it,
I think.
you put it on the town council at that point in time. You make your decision, and then if something goes wrong, you need to defend it. There you go, our recommendation is to do this, period.
We're gonna run
And
into the
that's
same.
that's my opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but,
We're gonna run
But
into the same
the
problem.
only issue that I have is that we're not totally unanimous on that. Right, so we could,
On what, clarify.
Brightview,
Oh, yeah,
right, so,
Well,
um,
but I don't think you have to be unanimous.
well, it has to be presented in such a way that, the majority of the commission wanted it, okay?
And I would
which-
support that,
which-
you go with the
which-
majority.
it goes to majority.
I'm okay
It
with
doesn't
that.
have to be 100%.
Correct.
But, at the same time, they have to decide what they wanna do, because, there was a lot of steam put toward that, which is fine. And then now it's, well, we're making money, so it's good,
Yeah,
so.
We're gonna find
But
ourselves in the same.
who was the original initiator of this whole thing? Was it just the Roche, or was it
Well,
someone?
it really was us, if you think about our statement of need, the commission, the town council asked us about 3 years ago to come up with some ideas for cost savings and enhanced revenue. And we did that table, and one of the items that we suggested is to
Well,
explore the possibility of outsourcing.
Yes, you can't be fair and honest without including that option without including that as an option,
Right,
okay, because it's very much an option, right?
it is an option,
So-
absolutely.
But the word out there is that, that's what we want nothing but that, and, some of us maybe, all of us no, but at the same time, we're the only ones behind the 8 ball. What did the pool lose? What does the pool cost, Jim?
$130,000.
And I would venture a guess that they had a lot less people showing up at the 2 pools during the course of the summer when they were open
Yes.
versus how many people were showing up at Timberland.
51 days.
Hey,
They're
Joe,
open.
you're on Park and Rec.
Yep.
The average now, Park and Rec is not a money maker by any means, right?
Correct.
And it's not intended to be. But for recreation, let's just talk recreation for Park and Rec, baseball, soccer, all the things that we spend money on as a town for recreational purposes for the residents. What does that cost a year for what's the Park and Rec budget? Do you know?
I mean, I'd have to look it up. I've got those numbers. I don't have them like at my disposal right now, but I can look that up and share that. Now, Peter, the question you're asking, that excludes anything to do with school athletics, whether it's at McGee or at Berlin High
Correct.
School.
No,
The
no,
fields
no,
are,
correct. I'm
fields
talking about extracurricular, recreational stuff like, the soccer after schools and the little leagues and all this stuff that the town foots the bill on. I can
dig it
tell you
up
that a couple of years ago, they were in the red $450K.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but, I'm just trying to set a perspective here that you know, I mean, the golf course seems to be a topic of conversation all the time, and it loses the least amount of money if it loses. And we talk about this every single year. This is really becoming boring.
But Peter, I mean, so the recommendation was made earlier that exclusive of what's going on with Brightview, that we do approach the council, or we insist that there is a meeting with the ordinance committee that says the ordinance that governs the golf course needs to change. Either it's changed or it's revoked in its entirety, right? If you want to make Timberland a moneymaker versus an amenity to the town, those are two very, very different things. I mean, over the past couple of weeks, Jim and I exchanged a couple of emails, and again, looking at the pool or the two pools and how much was spent and how much was lost, that's a pretty significant change, but you don't hear anything about that.
You know what else you don't hear about? You don't hear about the $40,000 that it costs to maintain Pistol Creek, which brings back not one penny. And that's okay. I mean, because that's a beautiful park, and it's, you know, if your car's not getting broken into or a catalytic converter stolen out there.
They cut the fairway
nobody
strip
else-
right off.
But you know, no one talks about how much that piece of property costs the town every year. It's just mind-boggling. But anyway, so that's the deal for Brightview and the director of golf.
So, what's the next step?
If you guys want to
Yeah, what's
approach
the
the
next-
council,
yeah.
we have to come up with, what I'm gonna request is that everyone write up something, okay? If you don't mind, give us your thoughts on paper, give them to me, and then I'll put them all together in some formality type of thing, email them all out again, and then we can make a presentation to the council.
Well, we actually are supposed to be doing that, because we talked about that at the last meeting.
We
said
we said we were
go-
going to,
go-
we said we were going to do it.
Well, we're
And-
supposed to be on the agenda for April,
That's correct.
Well, April is not here yet.
right, but the agenda has to go in.
And maybe we hold this to the second step. Maybe the first step would be to go to Roche and say, Roche, we wanna have an ordinance meeting set up. All right, and you go with that approach and say, let's have an ordinance meeting, we wanna get this out, and if they vote on it and say no, then the next step would be to go to all the
I
council.
don't, just talk to him,
Yeah,
just talk to Roach and see
all right,
what
yeah,
the
I'll do that
process is.
tomorrow.
See what the process is, that's all.
I'd go through it anyway and just force the hand.
Yeah, I think.
You came to the meeting.
Force their hand.
We talked about all these things at the last meeting. Now, the ball is kind of in their court a little bit in terms of they were gonna put us on the agenda for,
And do all the town council members know what's going on, or is it just the mayor? You know,
I don't think they really care.
well, do they know? I just wanna know if they know
I
about
think
it.
you gotta be in
So
front
if
of
I
them.
see a council member on the street down at Stop and Shop, I can approach him or her and say, what the hell's going on?
Peter,
Yes, Joe.
Peter, can you hear me? Peter,
It's Jim, are you there?
Yeah, Jim.
yeah.
Oh, Jim Green.
Peter,
Is that your?
Yeah.
I thought it was Mr. Fulci.
can you hear me?
Yes, Jimmy.
Jimmy, is that you?
Okay, listen.
Jimmy.
Okay, listen. It's like everything what you're saying. It's like you're putting our back up against the wall. We voted on something, or we put a vote out there for it. They're slapping us in the face and say, well, we don't need you. So they're making the decision. Then why do you have a golf commission? If they're making all the decisions, I mean, isn't that our job to do? So they can't follow our
No, it's not our job.
We live with
We are strictly an advisory commission, or an advisory board, Jim. That's all we do.
Correct.
That's I mean, then why it does? It's basically we don't even exist then. If you really come at it, we don't exist at all because they're making the decision anyway. They're not respecting us.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's my opinion.
Okay,
They're not.
Duly noted. Duly noted.
The other thing, I think Sebi made a good point is, Arosh and Mark came to the meeting and saw Jim's numbers and heard our discussion. Does the town council know that? No.
No.
How would they know that?
Right.
They weren't at the meeting.
Right.
It's highly unlikely they read our minutes, maybe they do, but.
No.
And the analysis that was done was not in the minutes. So I think that there's only a few people who
Right.
have that detail.
Peter,
Yes, Nancy?
no, can I just go back to what we were talking about when, Jim Bajella was mentioning about, what if we don't, break even this year? Wasn't there something, and I don't know if it was a decision that was made, that we go on a 3-year average? And if that was the case, then we certainly will balance out from last year's success.
Well, that's not official though, Nancy.
That was discussed, Nancy.
It was discussed, but it's not official.
It was a suggestion.
Maybe we ought to do something like that and make it more,
We gotta get them to change the ordinance. It was it was actually the mayor's suggestion
right.
2.5 years ago when we had an ordinance committee.
So, again, I'm going to request that everyone put your thoughts on paper, get it to me, and we'll get it, and we'll go in front of the council at the second meeting in April.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I would just like to present facts to them, I mean, this is what happened, this is blah, 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 blah. I mean, do we wanna go say, just present what was said. Here, this is it, okay, so the rest is up to you guys. Okay?
But Peter, Peter,
Yes, sir.
one thing, you say put everything down on paper. You want us to put stuff on paper, right? So and then you're gonna bring it to them, and then you're gonna discuss it with them. I mean, haven't we said what we wanted to say already?
I think what he's gonna say, Jim, is we'll get it to him, he'll summarize it, then we'll all go through it, and then present it. Is that a fair statement, Peter?
Yep.
And the full town council hasn't seen any of it.
I'm also gonna talk to LaRoche.
Yeah, good
I
idea.
don't think the newspaper's seen it either.
No,
No,
they
I
haven't.
just see as we move forward, going through the years, and if we keep losing money, we keep raising the rates, and then run into just diminishing returns based on the rates and amount of play, because we're trying to make budget.
All they have to do is tell us that this is a town amenity.
That's all you gotta
And
That's all they have to do. This is a town amenity. We cherish this beautiful piece of property, and we're going to treat it like we treat everything else in
And we
this
could
town.
set our rates
We would go
competitively.
away.
Okay?
Anyway,
That's all they have to do. If they force our hand, well, we have to make money, we have to make money. And, then they could take Kevin Delaney's option of selling the golf course, which he said in the last finance meeting, but that's okay. That was an option, but we know that.
It's an option, but not realistic.
Well, no, it's not, because that's a dead horse, because they have to pay the state back.
Unfortunately, this whole thing was an ordinance. Someone stuck that in there at the end when this whole thing came up, when we were establishing the golf commission. Because I was at all the meetings, you were at the meeting, never once did they talk about that when we were trying to establish this commission.
right.
All right, they snuck it in. And who I think snuck it in, but I won't say who.
Okay, next.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go, alright, so that's it for that. Okay, new business, capital improvement projects and their definition. You all get that?
Yes. Got the.
I will read it to you for the minutes. Hi Jerry, because we asked Jerry to find out what the definition of capital improvement money. Yeah, we needed for.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi Jerry, I believe the golf CIP funds should be used for capital assets. The town's definition, approved by the town council in 2017, of a capital asset is an asset that meets the following criteria will be considered a capital asset. Anything not meeting the following criteria will be considered an operating asset. Number one, an initial individual cost of at least $5,000 and a useful life in excess of 2 years. Thanks, Kevin Delay. So,
Sir, was this run by, Corporation Council then?
This,
Yes,
that, I don't know.
because that's what we requested. We requested this to go to the Corporation Council, get his.
I don't think it really matters at that point.
It doesn't be, the town, this is what the town council calls a capital expense.
I would've got,
It doesn't matter, so the clock qualifies as a capital expense.
Sure does, yeah.
And that's to get the CIP, right?
Jerry, did you see what, Mark sent out the other day, that clock at Stanley?
Yeah, I saw.
What a great idea, boy.
It is.
But if we were to even think about doing something like that, we would have to get a special, the sponsors who had put up the initial money have to get separated and whatever.
Can't we just make a motion and take a vote on, now that we have this clarification on CIP, can't we just have a vote on to spend it on and buy the clock and stop going around in circles?
Well, I kind of thought we got to that at the last meeting
But
because.
but we haven't, there hasn't been a vote on using CIP money to buy the clock and put it to bed.
No, now that we can, but if you didn't,
We had to clarify and it.
Exactly, now that we have.
you have funds encumbered already, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, we're short, if we wanna do it, what, we need another,
It's like 3,500 or
Depends where you put
it
it.
depends what you wanna do.
Right, and we were gonna find out the 2 locations,
Yes.
Yeah, what you wanna do with it, and any other improvements that you wanna do around it, if you're looking at the same thing like Stanley was doing, right, that's 22,000, that's what that's what Kevin's saying, right? And,
We weren't gonna spend that much, so.
but, I mean, if you're gonna, listen, if you're gonna do it right, don't Mickey Mouse this thing, right? I mean, you don't wanna have a light-up call of my battery's running out or whatever.
No, I don't think it was gonna be Mickey Mouse, I think it was a decent clock we were picking out.
No, it's a fine clock.
Yeah.
No, it's a fine clock.
And personally, it belongs across the road in that seniors, and they agreed that they would work with us on that. It really.
So what's the cost difference?
It's electrical.
How do you not?
I don't know, I'm like.
Okay, you walk, you come from the starter shack.
Across the
So
street.
you, right, as soon as you get to the other side of the
Go to
street,
the first tee.
just to the left over there, there's that stone
Retaining
wall.
Yeah.
There, the plantings over there,
Put it right there.
you know, can you miss it?
You were
The
just there
boxwood,
today.
weeping willow.
It's across from the
Oh my
mailbox, you know where the mailbox
It's
is?
directly across from the
It's
mailbox.
directly across from the mailbox.
There's a,
On the other side of the road?
There's
There's
a
little
retaining wall,
and
and
an
some-
evergreen and
on the
some
Bunny
plant.
Green side,
there's a weeping willow that's,
there's
It's
a
not-
weeping larch,
weeping, what is that?
larch.
A
Yeah.
weeping larch, that would come out, the clock would go right
You
there.
feel okay? Or-
Yeah.
Next time I'm gonna take you by the hand.
Yeah, I'll show you.
We're gonna light up a cigar, we're
That
gonna bring
would
you
be the place for that clock.
Then we don't have nearly enough money. That big project,
To put it there?
yeah, that's
You
big.
know what,
We
though,
have to go
if we,
across the road.
but
It has to
if
be
we,
done.
what about
That's
if we
the problem.
started soliciting, get your name on a plaque, on the clock, it's there forever. I would be the first one to do for me and Shelley.
That, I mean, I think that's a great idea,
$500 is $500.
but then you have to have somebody, like, we had a committee and we got to a point,
It's a long run.
I'm done. I mean, we raised the money we raised,
We gotta do something for these people.
That's right.
yeah, and I would like to go ahead, if you wanna take it the next step and raise more money, God bless you. Good
Well,
luck.
I mean, I would rather do it right.
I don't think our doing it the way we had planned is a wrong way to do it. If you say right, is it gonna look as good as Stanley's? Maybe not. Is it gonna be as large as Stanley? Maybe not, but I think it's gonna look good. Cause I know Jerry would ensure that it did look good.
I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I agree with both of you, that it does belong in that location. If I were doing it, that's where I would put it. I would expend the extra money, and as Jim says, do it once and do it right. As you said, Gail, in the last meeting, you're gonna see it from the flagpole putting green, from number
Yeah,
1,
That's true.
from number 10.
It is the best
It
location.
is the best location, it's the most visible. I don't think it's gonna be any more at, you know, at risk for vandalism over there than 25 feet the other way. If they're gonna beat it with a baseball bat, they're gonna beat it with a baseball bat.
How much
So I
more
would
is
say
it?
it's, if you're looking at just the utility work, you could take and double. And now, my gosh, conduit has gone through the roof when I got it's insane right now. So, it's a long run. It involves saw cutting that area where we used to keep the carts where you're looking at the pro shop to the right. Going through that bed, saw cutting the road, patching that, you know, everything in conduit.
What about
so-
right across from that where the mailboxes are, right? You know, there's that little
At that point, just go.
if
Just
you
go.
did that far.
For the extra money, it's not worth
I
it.
mean, you could envision that, right, over there?
Oh, I think it would, I
What I
agree
would
with
do,
you,
if
Peter.
it were me, I agree with you, and I would put it over there. I would take that wall down that's currently there. It's dated, you know, it's exposed concrete essentially, the face is exposed concrete. Now, I know you all haven't had a chance to see 17, but
I saw
it's
pictures.
block and you've got a thin profile, 3-inch
Block.
profile. You know, or even the wall on number 10T, that's a larger block, different application. There, I would redo that retaining wall in a different stone, probably similar to the stone on 17. You know, raise the grade, level it, and then do pavers around it with a nice, whatever you guys decide to do, gold sponsor, bronze, silver, whatever, Jim Norton, Pete DeFazio, whatever, and some nice plantings around it, and now you got something.
Oh,
Now you
it
got
would be
something.
beautiful. I agree 100%.
So what I could do for you, if you want to explore that option, is I'll price it all up. Everything. And I'll say, here you go.
Alright, that's one option.
Yeah.
Was there another option to put it on the
Well,
other
as Gail
side
was saying,
of the
you know,
shed?
initially, and it's still, it's a good option, it's not a bad place, like Gail said, it's not a bad place. Is as you go on to number 10T, you know where the rock is?
Yeah.
Right in the corner there.
Yeah.
Same thing, you would still do nice around it,
Correct.
you still would. But then Pete says, how about across on the number 1 side, and then we all agree, yeah, it's gonna be more visible, it will be nicer, it'll be nicer. But because of the run, because the power's coming off the clubhouse, the utility room, you have quite a run that's all gotta be saw cut, dug up and.
Yeah, but they only have to go down 6 inches, right? For that, yeah.
It's going across the road. You know, this may sound,
18 inches?
sound a little ignorant, but Jerry, our our irrigation system, we have electricity there, the clock would be low voltage. We can't tap into,
No, it's not low voltage, clock won't be low voltage.
That's
you don't
not-
think so?
No, it's not, no,
It's
it's not,
electric,
no, it's not.
so it's AC.
You know, my concern is we want a Mercedes, but we only have the, you know, the
You got enough money for the
Oldsmobile.
Ford.
Exactly. So I guess I'm a practical person. I'd rather have a car than no car. I'd rather have a Ford than no car.
And I'd rather wait and have the limo.
or you know what, the
Electric
flip
vehicle,
side of
full
this is, we can go to town council
There,
and ask for the money.
you could ask.
We
for
haven't
some
really
help.
done, you know what, if we come up with a presentation, this is what we wanna do, this is how, you know,
Now, Gail, you started the process, you went before.
Well, I did. I went to
Audience
Audience Citizens
You did.
and I was
You did
thinking
the
we were
right
gonna
thing.
have to ask for, you know,
You did
3,
the right
4K, so.
I would do this, let's explore the other side, let's
Okay.
put it all together.
Come up with a number,
Yeah,
come up with a number.
this is what it's gonna cost over here,
Please,
this is what it's gonna cost over there,
please,
this is what we've got,
Yeah.
this is what we need,
that would be helpful.
let's make a decision and move forward, because right now, with the way things are going, if you ordered that clock tonight, I don't know that you'd see it by this fall.
I know, which is.
And that's just in a normal year, because Gail knows, we've been going back and forth, and Jim too, how long it takes to manufacture these things. These are all custom clocks.
Does
Oh, really?
that custom clock have
I
a
didn't
double
realize
face?
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
custom,
They
They're all
have a
custom.
double face, Jim?
yeah.
You could do whatever face you want, you could have
They
a
mix it- they
Timberland,
put
there's all
different-
different,
all kinds of.
Attached, you know,
Ornate,
How much did the one down near CBS cost?
Back then, that was a $25,000 clock.
yeah,
really?
yeah, you wouldn't think so, but.
Because when starting the process for the clock, I called Doug Solik Facilities, Doug, where'd you get it? He
Yeah.
hooked me up with the people up in Mass, there's another company out in Pennsylvania. Two of the big players, two local if you will, and talking with both, they're both, the same price is negligible, the difference in price is negligible. but the company up in Mass, provided the clock down by CBS.
Look, we made $160,000, I mean, is it really that bad to ask for 15K or 20K or something like that? I mean, is it really that bad?
And that's how we have to ask.
And it's being put right back into the place.
Well,
Well,
let's
that's
do
the whole
it.
idea of
So
what
let's
we
get
could press
the
this issue
numbers,
with.
what Jerry said,
Get the
let's,
money thrown back into the course.
yeah, let's get the numbers, Jerry
That's
has
the
to come
reason.
up with a proposal. And once we know exactly how much it is, we know how much we have in
Yeah, get all your ducks in a row.
And I'll guarantee we could fill that thing up with donations, I'll guarantee it.
I don't know, Chris had a hard time, remember that last time selling all these signs?
Did they?
But this is forever. This is like buying a brick, I mean, this is forever. You know what I mean?
I just think you're gonna need people to go out and do that.
Yeah, bang on doors,
Correct.
Right now, times are tough.
I mean, times are tough.
Yeah.
Alright, so for the next meeting, you'll have that?
Probably not,
No?
The price?
to get everything lined up, yeah.
Just to
Because
get,
it's dealing with people to come in and
do
quote
an
me,
estimate.
you know, by the time they get back to me, people are busy right now.
Well, we could try though, right,
I'll
Jerry?
do my best, I will
Would
do
the
my
town
best.
do the work or
No, that's all.
They wouldn't cut, really? They wouldn't cut, they wouldn't do any of that, the electricity, electric work, really?
So you gotta get an outside vendor to give you a price?
No kidding.
We don't have electricians or anything, huh?
We have electricians, they'll hook it up, they'll hook it up once you get it over there. They'll probably do the connection in the,
They won't run the line though.
But they,
Well, I just feel bad that the sponsors have waited a long,
Yeah.
long time.
I got one final question on that, is there gonna, you're gonna differentiate, if you go down this road, are you gonna differentiate based upon how much money was given?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't,
Then
you gotta give them $1,500
Okay,
one
you-
and
you won't-
$100
okay.
one.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay,
I
alright,
mean, maybe the
Platinum,
$100,
gold,
whatever, okay, so we're all on the same page with that one, we're not-
right, I mean, maybe the
Okay.
bricks are the $100 people and then the things, we'll figure it out,
Okay.
but no, I think we have to recognize based on people's
Based upon how much, the level, that's that, you're right, different levels, sponsor levels.
We have, they're already established.
Okay.
Alright, statement of need status and policy status. This statement of need, we submitted it like how many times?
Well, I don't
Did you submit it?
No, we gave it to you.
We
Did we?
submitted to it, we definitely submitted it to the town manager.
well,
and
then
then
ask
it's
him,
not, if Roche has it,
then
He
ask
says he
him,
doesn't have it.
then
that's what
send
he
it,
says, yes, that's what he
so
says.
send it to him again.
We send you edits.
And remember, I put it all together.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
I
wanna
missed that- I missed that
redistribute to
meeting.
them, Pete, to make sure they're all good with it?
Yeah.
I hadn't missed that
And then
meeting.
just give it to a Roche?
Yeah, give it to him.
Okay.
I don't know when this.
Policy status.
We need any other policies?
Did
Are you
get
guys
these?
happy
We
with
voted.
Gail's changes?
Right, we
Yeah,
voted.
It's all good?
We
All
did.
right.
Voted.
Is there anything else that we need? I mean,
As far as
speaking out loud,
policies are
I-
concerned? Yeah, I mean, what we could do is, because Parks and Rec, and Joe knows this, has set there's a number of policies for Timberland Golf Course, old policies through Parks and Rec, that should be updated. Again, I really want it to go to council, I don't wanna go every 3 policies, I'd really like to get at least a half a dozen to go to council and say, here you go, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're just gonna sign off and say it looks good,
They
but,
probably are, but
but I mean, if you want me to take these 3,
look,
that's fine.
well, yes, I want you to take these 3 because I have asked you 2 to 3 times, what other policies do we need? And I've not heard an answer. So as
Okay.
far as I know, if we need another policy about a topic, you need to tell us.
Okay,
But these are 2 years old now.
okay,
So I would like to, we voted on them last time, I'd like to see them go.
okay, you're happy, okay, as long as you're happy with the final job, it's good with me. We'll get it to
What
council.
other policies? That's what I'm, and I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
got-
You know, without a ranger, should we have some sort of policy for where carts are going? I mean, I know it's impossible to enforce, but without the chip. Prime example, I sent you a picture today,
Don't tell me who.
you know what, I don't have to tell you who.
Well, in our code of conduct, if you, I mean, it kind of implies that you need to kind of follow golf etiquette. And golf etiquette is paying attention to, you know, you don't go next to a green, you don't go up on a tee. I mean, that's just,
People don't care.
I know,
Right, they don't
but,
care.
okay, so
What's
putting
the
in a
penalty?
policy wasn't and then who's gonna monitor that?
That's the problem.
Who's
That's the
gonna,
problem, without a
That's right.
danger, there's no point in trying to make up another policy that, at least these policies have accountability to.
Well, these are
who-
important, you know, seasons pass, you know.
And we already have somebody who
Well,
manages it.
then I'm gonna be the biggest enforcer getting that damn chip in when we get new cards. 'Cause it's,
What happened today?
I'm not gonna say it, we're recording.
But there, obviously, there was a card out of place.
The card on 17, it was almost on the green, almost on the green. Getting to that, and getting there, they drove up on the mounds to the left of the green, and they sat there.
and you know, I saw.
And these are golfers that play there every day.
Well, you hit the nail on the head, because I think they own the course, right? I mean, that's the,
You said that, I didn't, but yeah.
no, but that's true, I mean, right? I mean, it's just,
It's a free-for-all out there,
If we don't
and-
It is a free for all, cause then on Saturday,
Without a ranger, it's a free-for-all, there's only so much that the golf shop can do, there's only so much I mean, listen, we always used to complain about the amount of ropes we had, now there's no ropes, okay? But we also have no ranger, but that's, you know, so, I mean, I'm only talking about that because we're on the thing of policy, but
Yeah.
you're right, how you gonna enforce it?
you know where I see a lot of people making a real big mistake between number 7 and number 6. They don't even use the cart path, they go right across to where the green
You
is.
know, I don't know.
Or they
Well,
come
maybe you
around,
Well,
have, are
well,
you
we
on
gotta-
to something, maybe we need to put ropes back
We
on?
gotta think of something.
That, there's a problem, but there is, and that ropes equal time equals
I know.
money.
Yeah.
Because every time you're out there, you gotta take them down and put them back
I
up.
know,
I need a chip.
Yep, no, I get it, double-edged sword, but anyway, okay.
But, you know, to Jim's, or I think it was Jim that said, or both Jims, you know, growing up playing golf, and I grew up at Stanley, Indian Hill, played Timby, you know, with Don Bates, and you didn't even you never dropped a bag on a collar. You know, we all carried back then, nobody, we were kids, we carried. If you ever dropped that bag on that collar and that ranger was coming around the corner, now I see people, I'm there covering the third green on Saturday, got their little pull carts, I'm there working on the greens, pulled their cart right up, I'm like, what are you doing?
on green,
On the collar.
Well, on the collar,
On the collar.
between the collar, between the green and, well, the collar, it says it between the strap, on the left-hand side, here they come, I'm standing right there, I'm like, you don't see me here, I'm gonna yell at you, you know, I'm gonna say something. And they just, like you say, Jim, that generation, I guess, is gone, they don't care, they do what they want,
Anyway, okay.
it's unfortunate.
Well, I think again, if it's egregious, it might fall under the code of conduct.
Yeah.
And then you
I
can do
think you gotta
something
put
about
it
it.
there.
We have a code of conduct.
You have a picture, then what the heck?
But who's gonna enforce it?
Well, the code of conduct.
Code of conduct
tells you,
addresses it,
you know,
right?
You know,
It says you can take away privileges.
yeah, but somebody's gotta see it, gotta take a picture of it.
Somebody's got a picture of something that happened
Right,
today,
right.
then you can say, listen, here it is, you know, then how? That's all you do.
You know what, this is
So
enough
if
of
you
this
need
out.
just once, that's all that has to happen, once or twice, that's absolutely correct.
That's
You
right.
need one land.
Yep.
I hate to say it,
No,
that's
it's
the way
the
it
truth.
is.
That's the way it is.
And then we're gonna get out, and it's like, okay, and then
Can't do that.
a month later, you have to do it again, and this is just the way it is, it's just gonna be
So
like a
once
learning
these
behavior.
policies get passed, let's post them in the bulletin board outside the pro shop.
Yeah.
And then you can start perhaps enforcing it, as you say, you do it once or twice and we'll get out. You take somebody's privileges for a week,
Oof, they'll be here at the meeting.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know, listen, you're right, I think we're all agreeing with that one.
Yeah.
It's a big mistake for them.
Anyway, all right, moving on. Liability of sledding at Timberland.
Alright, where's this one coming from?
Somebody wanted to know. That
Was-
Nancy.
No,
Mrs. Burke,
Somebody had mentioned, or a couple people were talking about it, so I thought I'd bring it up. They said there's a lot of sledding there in the winter, and I just was wondering if Timberland is liable if anybody gets hurt.
okay, so Nance, I reached out to, risk management, Steve Wozniak, he got back to me. I could actually play you his voicemail, but, we're no different than any other park in town. It's, unfortunately a very litigious society we live in, and I know I shouldn't say this, but I don't wanna jinx anything, but should somebody get hurt, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lawsuit. Where it goes, that's another story, but unfortunately, that's a society we live in today. Can we stop it? No, we're no different than any other park in town, or whether sledding at one of the elementary schools or walking at an element and they trip on the curb and, you know,
And can you put
we're
up a
not,
sign?
we're not encouraging it, we're not saying, hey, come, you know, posting a sign saying, you know, sledding hill, but,
Jerry, we've done it for years.
exactly.
So how much damage does it cost to do the course? Zero? You know what? It's a park.
It's a park,
town
that's
park.
what you have to,
You know
Timberland
what?
is a
They
park.
They should be allowed to do that.
I mean,
I think it's wonderful, myself, I get a kick out of it, you know, seeing
Like,
the kids, the families, on a
Yeah,
weekend, you go up there,
that's-
you can't find a parking spot.
yeah, they're all parked.
I met a lot of my friends are cross-country skiing through there, I'm like, stay off the greens, but you know, and a lot of snowshoers this year, and I've met and talked with.
I've seen some of
I
the
think-
trucks go right across the green.
Yeah, this
I
year.
think
But
people,
But anyhow,
Go ahead,
it's a
Nancy.
park.
I think
Nancy, go ahead.
I'm all for people being able to do it. But I'm just wondering, when we had the, we had done that sign for flying golf balls on 10, is
Yeah.
that even if there was a sign that just said,
they're still gonna sue you,
really, okay.
oh yeah.
No, but I'm not
You might
against
not win.
doing it, but I'm just thinking, you know, just watching out for us.
That's the way of the world.
Do you know what I have been seeing? In the past, since we've been open the past couple of weeks, we got parents. One hand has their golf bag.
You saw that today,
This is not the first time that I've
Really?
seen it.
it's the first time I saw it.
No, I've seen it a couple times already.
Are you talking about the kid with his kids?
The kids in the baby carriage. Now there's a
That's-
liability that's scary. for me.
That's, I'm glad you
There's
brought
there's
that
a
up.
golfer who has a push cart.
Today it was
And a
him,
baby
he and
carriage.
his wife.
Well, yeah, I think
That-
that's.
I've seen
No,
a couple
I,
times
this is
already.
where I agree with Jim, I agree with Jim.
Listen, we have a policy that says you're golfing at your own risk. It's right there in black and white in that big sign right near the starter shack, right? This kid, he takes his two little children with him while he's golfing in a stroller. Dad of the year, as far as I'm
Oh, it's a
concerned.
great family,
Okay,
wonderful,
and they're wonderful.
wonderful people.
They are absolutely wonderful, but you're at your own risk.
Correct.
You know, I don't,
I
personally, I don't have a problem with that.
I know,
Okay,
I would like to though, talk to Steve, risk management, because we're not talking about adults here, we're not talking about toddlers, we're talking about babies in a
Talking
carriage,
about babies.
babies.
And what, a ball,
Like-
an errant ball going flying and hitting the baby?
Yeah, because like today, for example, and these are wonderful people, they are the nicest people, and I'm not picking on them, I'm not.
Okay.
But it's something to think about, and this is where Jim, well, we were kinda like crossing paths, and you saw them, he played 10, but he was in the bunker on 15.
That's exactly right.
And
You
guys
saw,
were
okay.
yeah, oh, I see everything, and you were coming down 15,
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, that's scary.
and the
Because
wife,
you're coming up, he's
she
going,
wasn't even playing. She
No.
was just pushing the carriage.
yeah,
There was two carriages.
there was two, they had a double and a single.
But it's not the first time that I saw him there.
Well,
So it was the first time for me, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
You could relate it, you know, I mean, it is a park, but it's a golf course during golf times and season. It would be similar to like somebody walking their dog. It's not really appropriate to have, I'm thinking of.
Or fishing at the pond.
Yeah, fishing in
I
the
see that happen
pond,
all the time.
Yeah.
walking a dog down the golf course, or a baby in a
Yeah.
stroller. Maybe that's
They
not.
could be
I don't
out
know.
stealing catalytic converters, man,
I
that's
don't
my
know.
opinion.
I don't know, it's a
I don't know,
tough-
I would just like to ask the question, it would make me feel better, I think you, at some point,
Strange to see.
it was, I was very happy to see a family out enjoying the day and the tropical storm force winds, but
It was fun though.
That guy takes those kids to the restaurant, he buys them each a burger and fries.
yeah, they're good people.
I'll tell you what, if there were more dads like that, I mean, this
But
guy
Pete,
is,
but Pete,
I get it.
Wouldn't you feel like crap, God forbid, he shanks one and hits that kid in the head on the 15th.
Yeah.
I'd be more concerned about Jim Green. Shanking
No, I would
one
really
to the-
feel very, very bad.
Oh, you would?
Oh, Eddie,
You know what?
feel horrible.
Yes, of
Like,
course.
did I not do
However,
something?
well, you know what, maybe we have a talk with this gentleman and say, listen, you know, I mean, you do realize that this is at your own risk, and God, the first thing on our minds is that,
Safety.
It's a safety
you know,
of that family.
we
Oh
would
my
not
gosh.
wanna, I mean, you know, maybe he could come up with some plexiglass thing or something,
We're gonna have to
I don't
build
know.
a cage for the stroller.
Huh?
We're gonna have to build a cage for the stroller.
Yeah.
You know,
Get your,
I don't know.
get your,
If the guy's out playing golf,
he
you
is,
know, and
but it
those,
was,
those kids don't even make a peep.
His wife,
No.
his wife was there too?
yeah, they're good, nice people. I talked with them, nice people.
Just let him play golf in peace and take the kids down to the park.
It's a tough one.
I hope they don't make the mistake of walking up with two,
Because you're right.
because
that kid-
18
if that
practice
kid gets
range
hurt,
is just
you know,
dangerous.
how do you think Jim's gonna feel
Well,
if he
that's-
hits the kid? You know,
I just
or-
said
That's why I would have a talk,
You know,
I would
here's-
have to talk to you,
Not that it's
Counsel or
a
whatever.
true analogy, but it's so.
And what
Again,
we're-
because when I do my ski thing, okay? Parents over on the bunny hill, they take their kids over there and the kids are learning how to ski on the bunny hill and the parents naturally follow and wanna migrate, wanna go up the hill and take pictures of little Johnny skiing down. Ski racer says, no. You stay behind, you know, the rope or whatever, you cannot go on the hill if you're not skiing. Well, here you have, we'll get calls, you know, get them off the hill, they're not supposed to be up there, because if they get taken out by an errant skier, you know,
While
What
we're
do they do?
talking about, this is not the first time I saw it this year, a couple times. Somebody walking their dog right down the fairway at 15.
Well, I've seen people walk their dogs down the fairways,
Yeah, down fairways, I mean,
in the, you know, pre-golf season, this
Oh,
winter.
yeah.
oh no, this is we're playing golf,
Well, it's kind of similar to a stroller thing, it's
Yeah.
not really the most appropriate
Yeah.
Were they
time.
picking up eggs for the dog?
no, they didn't have a bag with them.
No, that's,
That's-
there was quite a few piles of
there was a lot of.
fertilizer.
Yeah, but people were good this winter, you have to, because the number 2, we left because we knew they filled it up. They were good, they were good on number 2, they disposed of it
Oh,
properly,
interesting.
they were good. The people at that property at all year round are just phenomenal, great people. They are,
I'm gonna,
can't say a bad thing about anybody.
Jim Keats.
But I think it's a valid concern, Jim, I agree with you, and he's not even paying attention to
Well,
it.
you're gonna talk to who?
I'm gonna talk to Steve Wozniak, and I'm just gonna get his take, that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Alright, we already went over the director of golf application status, okay, account balances. T-sign account, $9,439.63. Let's talk CIP, Jerry.
Well, there's your balance, we do have about 9,000 of that now, that's not including the masonry work we're doing and gonna be doing up by the clubhouse, so
How much is that gonna be
9,100.
total?
Yep.
Wow, that's
Really?
good.
Well, 9,100 for the wall on 17?
For everything that he's doing. He did the wall, the pad, added 2 treads to the stairs on 17, and he's doing the pad. We're taking out the concrete pad where Ramsey's Grill is located. We're starting that cleanup, that process. And that's gonna gonna build a small retaining wall and the handicap walk sign. We're gonna pay or do in pavers, with the same stone we did on 17 there with a black onyx border. And then he'll have that, that's his that whole area.
So that's gonna be all level?
That's all, no, it's gonna follow the slope of the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
It kinda has to, cause if you did it, you could make it level, but then when you look at how it would look and work and
But
it's
it's
a
gonna be,
functionality.
something's gonna be done.
Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice and well, since we're on that topic, facilities, we'll be painting the exterior of the clubhouse. They already had power wash, now we're just waiting for some weather to start the staining process.
Are we
Gonna go
painting or are
inside.
they subbing it out?
They are painting, Town of Berlin's painting. So they're gonna be using a solid color stain, and that will commence once the weather is conducive to painting.
What color?
Well, erosion, you know, we done talked with erosion, they wanna brighten it up, so it'll be a lighter color, probably like a, I don't wanna say, in keeping with the fascia that's up there with the siding, so probably in that tan, light brown with a, you know, a darker trim.
Cream.
Cream, yeah, not the body, we can't do the body, cause that would just be too light, it would just show too much dirt and with the chairs banging up against, so it would probably be not white, Jim, or cream, but that plus a little, I'm not good with colors, but you know, that with a little bit of brown, so light tan.
You got about 14,000 left.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else encumbered? I mean, what else do you look
No, there's nothing else encumbered right now,
What are you
but
looking
here's the thing, folks, okay, I've already started to get prices and I got another contractor coming out next week as far as paving is concerned. I really, really wanted, now that we're doing the 17, which is your signature hole, and it should look like your signature hole. I really wanted to finish the path between where 16 ends and 17 begins.
Yes.
Because there's way too much dirt
Agreed.
and going around the birch tree, and that's really nice birch, and you keep doing that, you're gonna lose the birch.
Birch, yeah.
You lose that birch, you're losing a specimen, you know, that's not a swamp maple, so.
Good idea.
I got that, and then I also have them, and I spoke with Mark about it, price out the area in front of the pro shop. From the new, which is coming down the ramp, starting there and going to the road. That swath of pavement, it's bad, folks, it's bad, and it looks like hell.
Where are you talking about?
Okay, so in front, when you walk into the pro shop.
Yeah.
That whole run, there's Steve right there, you got a minute?
Well, I'm heading out, but what's up? Hey, guys.
This is Steve Wozniak, he's risk management.
Yeah, I got to answer your question about
Yeah, you
sledding.
did, you did.
It's okay.
Yes, it's fine. But I have another question.
Sure, what do you got?
There was a couple there today and they were playing golf. While they were playing, they had their children, one being, I guess, a baby, in a stroller, two with them as they played golf.
I've never heard of that before. You guys?
Oh, yeah, no, he does
I
that a
never
lot,
saw
yeah,
it
he does,
before. This is the first
this
time.
particular individual.
But that's unusual, though. I mean, I don't.
Oh, yeah, but I mean.
I've been playing golf for years, but I wouldn't take an infant on the course.
Yeah,
They are.
he has a stroller and he has a
Two
push cart and a
strollers,
stroller.
That's a little concerning because you got
There.
airy golf balls.
Yeah.
You could get out of the way possibly, but if somebody's strapped in a.
Stroller.
That's
See,
why
there you
would
go.
you do that?
Tell them you can't play.
Yeah, you know, probably the only way this kid gets to play is like, you
He's
take
got
the,
three
you take the kids, you take the kids with you, you can play.
So you wanna look into it?
I'm off tomorrow,
Yeah.
but call me Monday, but that is, the sledding part's fine, but I don't, that's kinda weird, I never heard of that.
Yeah, I've never seen it, today I witnessed it, I'm like, ooh, and
You
then
get
Jim
hit,
brought it up and,
and you're what, 1 year old in a
or
stroller?
less.
Less, probably.
Really?
Yeah, they're both in carriage, I mean.
Strollers?
Strollers.
They had a double and a single.
And then push all
And
the
they're-
stuff on, plus the golf cart, plus your walking.
Yeah, they're gotta give them credit, but
Well, I'm giving them credit for being dedicated, because I.
I'm giving them credit for having 3 kids, but.
And golfing. At the same
And
time.
golfing.
Is the husband and wife go at the same time, or just the guy?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
A lot of times he'll go out by himself and he'll have a
I would
double
never think I
stroller.
would ever see that on the course with an adult taking an infant, you
Yeah,
know.
like you say, Steve, you make a good point, the kid can't get out of the way.
No,
You
you
can't
get a
say
ball come
4,
flying and, you
And the
know,
6 month is gonna,
or what if a
Duck,
golf
yeah.
cart, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, you can't duck, I mean,
yeah,
the chance is there, maybe it's small, but I don't wanna take a chance that we're allowing somebody on the course with a infant gets hit in the head with a golf ball, it's
Yeah.
gonna be serious.
Yeah.
We all know,
Oh, yeah.
so we'll talk Monday,
yeah, call me Monday.
I'll call you Monday.
Thank
What do you
you.
want me to call you?
Call me whatever you want, I usually get called bad names by this time of the day, so.
Oh, we love you. We
Yeah,
love
call
you.
me early in the morning.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks to great and powerful
Is he an attorney?
Steve.
No, he's the fire.
Risk management without, don't you need a legal background?
He's fire marshal.
Yeah, I saw that.
So you're gonna pave?
Oh, so to get
17.
back, so yeah, I would like to pave that run, and then
How are we gonna deal with the lower T on 17? Are we ever gonna deal with that?
we could probably never afford to pave that thing. What I've gotten for my initial bid for that project, about by 17, 16, 17, if you wanna call it that, I was floored.
25?
17. I was floored, but asphalt follows petroleum, so.
How about that gravel like you did at number 4?
That, again, what I'd like to do is this. We have used millings work, but it looks kind of ratty to me. It looks, I don't like, it serves a purpose, but it's not the look I'm trying to achieve. I'm gonna contact a couple of stone quarries or distributors and see if there's some way we can top it with a lighter color stone, make it kind of, I wanna say beachy, but more finished looking,
Yep.
and then bind it. They do have binding materials that you could toss over the top and it'll actually bind it and just make it look like a finished path without spending the money of a finished path.
This 4 looks pretty good.
Well, it looks, yeah, but
I mean,
for what it is for now,
Right.
but what I don't like is the 9. I don't like 9. I think it looks ratty.
It does.
But that's what I'm exploring, but anyhow, getting back to paving, yeah, it could be, but that front, in front of that pro shop, it looks, it's gonna become a hazard, if it isn't already, with potholes, breaking asphalt.
Let's face it, all the asphalt over there, parking lots, everything's a
oh,
Well, the parking lot, that would fall under highway, so.
disaster.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, especially our golf carts don't like that either.
No, they don't,
Okay, seriously.
no, they don't. So, to answer your question, I was looking into those 2 things, like I says, right now, I've committed 91 for the projects we're currently doing, and we'll finish up probably towards the middle or end of next week, the latest Ramsey's will be done.
That's a crazy good price.
I know. Sometimes you gotta let Jerry do his thing.
I mean, the wall alone, that wall alone, I can't believe that that wall, you're looking at least 8-9 grand just for that wall.
Yeah.
How much was 10? Remember what we paid for 10?
No,
It's a pretty big one.
I don't. I honestly don't. I don't even wanna. I don't know. But anyhow, so to answer your question, the other thing I wanted to do, and I'm talking with the paving contractors, we gotta start cleaning up, making look better up there. And one of the things I wanted to do in that upper parking lot was to go with a seal coat. I know we can't afford to pave it, it's not gonna get paved, but if we seal coat it and paint new lines, I think that'll go a long way. We take
Fill in the cracks though,
Fill in the cracks,
that has to be done.
fill in the cracks, seal coat, paint new lines. The signage, get, whether we do 6x or 4x4, something nice, everything is uniform, everything is painted, everything is finished looking, not 3 different posts, faded signs on a 45-degree angle, wanna start cleaning that area up. And I also looked into, where the cooler is up by the clubhouse, we're gonna get rid of all that stone and we're gonna go back to sod, we're just gonna sod it. And we got water over there. The only concern I have, and I'm talking with the mason when we look at that project, is we might have to do a little retaining wall because the slope is so severe up by the sidewalk. So but it's gonna clean up that whole area.
Perhaps you do slide to the retaining wall, and then at the bottom you could have the stone.
I'm sorry.
You can keep the stone at the bottom.
Well, if we're gonna do it, I just,
Depends on how
yeah.
far down the retaining wall is.
Right, so, these are things I'm looking at, but there's a lot of cart path work,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cart path work. And, like even now that we've taken the pines down on 10 and we're tearing up the roots and we're gonna do some mounding there, we're gonna do mounding behind 4. And 5 cart path from those roots. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And we're being very careful, we're saw cutting, where the root meets or it's going under the cart path, so eventually that's gonna be a priority, especially that 4-5 area, that cart path. And again, as a project, I wanted to reroute that up on the backside and have them step off onto the flat, and then once you're behind there, it's all grass. It's all grass. And we're gonna do, like I said, a couple 3 mounds in the back of 4. And you know,
So Chair,
give it some topography.
did you put money aside for the new tee box on number 4?
We're doing that in-house,
Oh,
so,
you're doing that
yeah,
in-house.
that's not a big deal.
Is that big enough, that one? Look, I mean,
Well, it's not, that's just the crap, we bring in that crap soil initially, let it settle, and then we'll start adding more, and then we'll shape it, so will it get bigger? Yes, it will, yeah, it's gonna get bigger.
how about irrigation? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we talked about that once before. I mean, and that's, I mean, you're talking big bucks at that point in time, right? How,
For,
Pump house?
no, pump house, all irrigation, there's a problem with irrigation.
well, the
Lines,
irrigation
Is it
is.
gonna last? We, you know, like,
Oh, yeah, I mean, the irrigation system is 15 years old. Is it outdated? Hell no. Is it a pain? Do you have to babysit it? Oh, yeah.
do we need to start thinking about putting?
There's a long story behind that, but we won't go into that.
Saving money to replace,
Yes, you really,
like a 10-year plan, if you will.
yes, and I already started that knowing what I know about the pump house, because that's where you're gonna spend your money. I can go into detail, but, you know, you look at the header, that's your main pipe, that's feeding your water, your irrigation system. They usually have a life expectancy of 10 to 12 years. The system's 15 years old. So what I had them do was I had them pull all the plumbing inside the pump house apart, pull it apart, inspect it, because what happens is that when it rusts, it's gonna rust from the inside out, it's not gonna go from the outside in. So pulled it all apart, inspected it, re-welded it, we should be good now for at least, knock on wood, another 7 to 10 years, I think, we can get out of it. What I'm having to do, which is an expense, the PLC, the brain of the irrigation system, needs to be updated, needs to be replaced. That would have to be built for our particular system. You're looking at about a $5,000 bill for that, because that's what communicates, that's where your communication between, whether it's my office, the radios, or whatever. You lose the PLC, you lose communication, you're shut down. You're shut down. That's big. That's big. There's just so much, you know, that we need to do. We gotta, you know, think about dredging the ponds. You know, that's gonna need to be done. We do, or we monitor the intake on the irrigation pipe that's in the pond. We've had to replace the basket on that a couple times. We have a diver come in, they go down, they clean it out. Last year was a broken plastic fitting, they had to replace that. So it's an ongoing battle. Is it outdated? Is it need to be replaced? Hell no. Do your bunkers need to be replaced? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That,
So can we tie some of this stuff in? I mean, even though we have, you know, capital improvement fund, if you will,
Yeah.
right? But, I mean, knowing what you know, you come up with a list.
yeah,
Why can't we tie, if we're gonna go in front of the town council at some point, and tie it all in, and say, listen, this is $160,000 I got thrown into the general fund.
yeah.
We're saying, and that's fine, but you know what, you have to put money back into the course. You have to, and it's been neglected for years. And it has been neglected for years. So now is the time, to go at it, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah, I
it doesn't
agree.
hurt.
Should be in our statement of need.
Well, absolutely.
You have to reinvest,
Here's-
you have to reinvest.
You do. You can't keep, nothing lasts forever,
That's
folks.
correct,
Correct.
you're right.
But I
I'm
think
sorry.
you're right.
Your bunkers,
You're right.
that particular system is obsolete. Nobody does a liner anymore. It's passé, it's old, okay? Nobody does that. The new system, better built bunker, capillary concrete, these are what they do nowadays, where they're actually spraying a porous concrete into the bunker. You gotta redo your drains. I don't wanna say it's forever because nothing is forever, but the life expectancy is, I'll be 6 feet under by the time you'll have to redo it.
But we
So I'm looking into that now as well.
But now's the time to, I mean,
But what I was planning on doing, it's hard. It's a tough game to play. At the end of the fiscal year, as you know, Jim, there's gonna be some monies left over.
Yeah. always is, so you have 1 month
Once
to
we
spend
come-
it, 2
it's-
months maybe.
It's like, you go at them hard, starting May and say, look, I need And then with the money's left over, they're gonna give so much to facilities, so much to, you know, this, and the golf course needs to be part of the equation. I wanna do, like you're saying, I wanna do my greenside bunkers, I wanna do my par 3 greenside bunkers. Okay, what's it gonna cost, Jer? Well, here's my 3 quotes, this is what it's gonna cost. Can you help me out? Town of Berlin? Yep, we'll help you. No problem, I'll schedule the work.
Well, we talked about doing away with some of the bunkers too, making green.
Well, that's, you
Yeah,
know,
but
if we're gonna do that, that's,
You gotta-
we're just talking in general.
We're just talking in general, right?
Right.
You made money the last couple of years,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Chances
Yeah.
are this year, you're gonna probably do the same thing, right?
Probably, yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah.
So now it's time to go in front of the council and say, listen, it's time to reinvest. You have to reinvest in your asset, otherwise you're gonna lose it, and.
Or it's gonna cost you more down the road.
It will, it's a Band-Aid approach to some of the things that we're doing, it's like,
So
stop,
can we
let's
have
take
a
a step
written, we've talked about it, can we have a written 5-year capital plan? 'Cause
There is a, I
there
mean,
is one?
oh yeah, I submitted it whenever, this
To
past
us?
winter, yeah. Now, if you wanna start
Here's
getting
one-
specific,
we have one, yeah, you know what, we have the bridges to look at, I mean,
you got the
Yeah.
bridges,
there's a lot of things
there's
that have
a
to be
lot
done.
of things, yeah.
Right, and it takes money, but this is the time to now get from, listen, we need your commitment, that this is where we're gonna go with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
I think we're laying the groundwork now, being out on the course, what I'm hearing, just by the work we did over the winter and this spring, and, you know, people that I'm talking to that are coming through, they're really, really blown away by what we're doing. The group coming through 17 today, they were a few groups ahead of you, the guy that hit driver and I think didn't even make the fairway. He says, you're gonna keep doing this kind of stuff? I says, absolutely. He goes, keep going. He says, it's long overdue. You gotta do it.
you have to
But
reinvest in
these are
more.
people, I don't know who they are. It's not Jim Buja, it's not Jim Norton. I don't know who they are. They're just guys playing golf. But they play there often enough to realize and see what's going on. So when you get that and people start talking, and I'm gonna share some numbers.
Town hall is what they need to start talking.
Well, that's our job. That's our job.
We need to if we have to get in front of the town, I'll talk in front of the council, I don't care. But
Well,
it's
that's
time
what
to
we're gonna do, we're
reinvest.
gonna send Peter our thoughts, you've helped me form some of my thoughts to include, you know, some information about this. I think the town council needs to hear from us on a regular basis, not just when the rates come up.
Yeah.
I mean, we should,
Yeah,
technically, we
right.
should be going there on a quarterly basis.
Every 2 or 3 months, you're right, absolutely correct.
This is what, you know, this is what we're looking to do, this is what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
Cause no one's gonna tell them if we don't.
Yeah.
It's our job
I
to
think
tell them.
we're, and I'll share some numbers with you guys at the end that I just got from Kevin, just before I left my house, which are very encouraging.
You should have another profit this year.
Okay, let's,
I think we're worried about 3,000.
But you know, but again, to Arosha's credit, he's recommending that once we get past this year, this fiscal year, and we most likely will show a profit, that we set up the special revenue account where the monies go into the special revenue account, not the general fund. We'll keep so much in the kitty, in the event we have a bad year, we can draw from it. And with the additional money, we can go and do our bridges.
You don't wanna get into that, you don't
Well,
wanna.
that's, I'm not a financial,
Set a reserve somewhere.
well, whatever, you know,
That's
I'm not a CPA.
Even, I don't know, special revenue enterprise fund,
Well,
no,
Well,
get
no,
away
that's
from that.
just the term that was thrown out, so
No, don't, go whatever.
Anyway,
that's up to them,
Yeah.
that's their job, you know.
alright, so Jerry, is that pretty much your report?
I guess, cause Jerry's been a little bit busy, so, I did jot some things down. Well, let me do this, before I get ahead of myself, since we're here and we're talking. Alright, so this I just got from Kevin as I was walking out the door. Kevin. Okay, hi Jerry, after pulling together the March financials, I wanna share some good news about Timberland. After posting the results through 3/25, still another week of Timberland financials to post next week, Timberland has already surpassed the FY22 budget for season's past sales. I know folks have complimented the course, and this reinforces that many people must be happy with the course. Also, from 3/26 through 6/30, 21, which was last fiscal year, Timberland took in $60,000 in seasons past revenue. If Timberland collects 75% of the last year's amount this year, assume some purchase timing changes, then seasons past revenue would match FY21 at $175K. Most of the additional seasons past revenue is paid by the end of April, so we should get a good feel for the rest of the year by the end of April. Good job.
Doesn't mean squat.
Well,
Yeah, it's
It
speculation,
doesn't,
but,
but it's like,
but it,
It's optimistic.
yeah,
yes.
I think it's realistic.
it's better than the other, which would be everything is down.
Down, exactly.
You know, I'd rather be on the plus side, but who knows?
Good.
Weather's gonna be a big factor.
Yeah.
Weather's gonna be a big factor, you know?
Jerry, number 3, how long do you think we'll keep that as a temporary green?
See, Michelangelo's painting the Sistine Chapel. Did I tell you? And the bishop kept going in, or the cardinal said, Michelangelo, when are you gonna finish? He goes, when it's done. When it's done.
Temporary green?
3? You didn't play the front today?
We didn't play front side?
I played an hour and 10 minutes in the back.
Oh,
Oh,
so when do I think? I'm hoping by the end of April. I'm
He
really,
doesn't know where the retaining wall is, he's gonna
Hey,
know.
dude, this temporary green.
He looks a little flushed tonight in his face.
you know, as you all know, we, just like everyone else in the Northeast, sustained some winter damage. Some worse than others, but the consensus is this is probably the worst year since 15 in the Northeast. It's concerning, it's being addressed. We have been talking amongst ourselves, since, you know, it started to appear. I'm going tomorrow up to Springfield Country Club, they're getting together, a group of us, we're gonna sit down, roundtable discussion with, people from UMass, UConn, and USGA, to discuss the plan going forward, what everybody's doing to come out of it. Unfortunately, and I know Pete shared the email with you
Yeah.
guys that we received from our, from our association, that folks, this is not indigenous to Timberland, this is a problem. There was nothing anybody could have done. People that covered, some of them, where they went out, they covered and they actually removed or squeegeed the water or ice off and thought they were doing the right thing, had damage, you know? There are years when we've not covered and you go next town over and they've covered and there were sodding greens and we have no damage. So it was all, whatever the cards were dealt, now it just, we gotta fix it. And we gotta try and learn from it, if there is anything to learn, and try and minimize it going
Did
forward.
we just lose one green or?
Yeah, I mean,
The
so
whole
what I
thing,
did
it was
was,
all green?
no, well, it's covered right now. We're 10th on 3. 3 is 10. So again, we've been talking, with, Stanley, Rockledge, Weathersfield, and Ben over at Weathersfield, he's been wonderful, and he's like, and he put it out to our people in our area, if you need, because they covered, so if you need covers, I've known Ben for a few years now, can you give me one cover, I just wanna cover the number 3, and he goes, yeah, come pick it up, and I'm borrowing the cover from Weathersfield, and we've covered 3, and we covered it Saturday, knowing that Sunday, Monday was gonna be exceptionally cold, and it was. I've already given it a light shot of FERT, you can't go heavy, you gotta go light, so, we've been covered, and we pulled it back today because we had to mow it, and I took a couple of plugs, and I've been monitoring it, and I'm very encouraged at what I'm seeing, the roots are really developing, they're good, healthy, strong, and they're going deep roots, I think 70 to 80% will come back on its own, but we are gonna go in next week and we're gonna go with a dimple type tine, which creates like a little seed bed. We're gonna overseed, give it a light shot of sand, cover it back up, give it a little bit of FERT. I'm gonna have to alter my spray program on that one green in particular especially. And the other greens that are damaged, 13-10, 13-1, there's some damage on, I don't wanna say, there's damage throughout, 13, 17, 10, 1. So I'm gonna oversee those areas as well, but we're not gonna tempt them, we're gonna keep them open. If I could, I wish I could, but I can't, so.
So what does the sanding in the fall do to
The
protect?
theory behind that is, you know, you're providing a layer of insulation around the crown of the plant. So you don't get the big fluctuations in temperature, which I think, you know, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but you really didn't have a hardening off time or process where things went dormant. So you had like a very warm November, very warm December. And even the first half of January was warm. So the plant never really went to sleep, hardened off. Yeah, it didn't go dormant. So, and then you got really, really cold. And then you got snow and ice, which is, you know, the worst thing. But the ice we had was good ice. There was a lot of oxygen within the ice because different types of ices, and I inspected it was good ice. But then we hit President's Day, and the consensus there is we went from 50 degrees to -5 degrees in 24 hours, and that just smoked everything. So.
Hey, Jerry, right, you said we should have top dressed them. They mentioned that. Top dressing.
I can't hear it.
He said,
Can
Brian,
you hear
you
me?
said we shouldn't top dress.
Oh, well,
You should top dress them.
You should?
You
You
should
should
have.
top.
we
You
did.
should.
They were.
They were.
You only yelled at me for top dressing on the Saturday when it was gonna snow on Sunday.
They were top dressed.
Yeah, but that's another conversation.
Okay.
Okay,
But anyway.
thank you, Jim.
So we'll see going forward. To answer your question, Seth, I would hope by, you know, I would hope by the end of April.
Thank you, Jerry.
Tomorrow, hopefully they come up with some answers.
There, you know, it's just gonna be, you could go back to last summer. Everybody's cultural practices are different, you know, should you go deep, late, you know, should you not, should you top dress, should you go heavier top dress? You know, you, right down to the chemicals you're spraying for your PGR, so there's a lot, but at the end of the day, Mother Nature rules. You know, you've got grass that's 1/8 of an inch in height. And you get those big fluctuations and it doesn't know whether to go blind, you know, so it's just, it's a work in progress. I'm just happy we didn't lose more. I gotta be honest with you, I believe that if we didn't top dress, that we would have lost more turf yet, we would. And my goal going forward is to do even more top dressing during the course of the season, lighter shots more frequently. But keeping an eye on the soil profile is not to change that, you know, or alter that in any way, so. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it, but yeah, that's the Reader's Digest for that, yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, you there?
Thank you.
I'm here. I haven't had to talk a whole lot. But I'm here. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I mean, I was here till right before 6 closing up. I just said I'll just hop on my computer instead of being late. Before I get into my report, you know, I'd sent an email, I don't even know when, maybe a month or two ago, about how courses are taking the COVID years where golf's been successful and they're reinvesting in the facility with money that they're making. Locally, we see that at like Blackledge, they got this brand new driving range there. We see Stanley making improvements all the time, like they're getting Top Golf at their range, or Top Tracer.
Yep.
So it's like the screens, and they're really upgrading. So I mean, other courses around us are spending money. That's why I sent that email that, you know, we made 160,000, whatever it was, in profit. And I mean, the golfers really paid for that. So some of that should come back to the golf course. That, I feel pretty strongly about that, and I think you could sell them on that. But I mean, if nobody goes after the council or whoever, Kevin or whoever's in charge of this, then they're just going to take the money and put it elsewhere. So I mean, I think it's important that you go at them and say, listen, the golfers deserve something out of all this money that you're making, this profit. You know, but if you don't go at them, they're not going to put it back.
It's true.
So, I mean, feel free to share that article or put together a plan, even if it's a quarter. I mean, 40,000, Jerry, you know, that would go a long way towards some of the things you want to do. So that's my take on that. And especially if you say we're gearing towards another profitable year, I mean, who knows what we're going to make, but some of that should come back to the people that are actually supporting it. That's the way I feel about that. Now on to my report. I wrote this up early, so I mean some of these things have already happened, but the website's been updated. The point of sale system, we've obviously been selling season passes down at the course. I haven't even looked at how many we sold, but it sounds like Kevin's happy with that. So I feel like we sold a bunch. We've got a lot of new season pass holders, so that's good. I mean, they're committed to playing Timberland, and that's what we want. The forms, I just basically updated the rates on the forms and actually, changed the dates and stuff, and that's it. So a lot of our policies are the same on there. The tee time policy hasn't changed, so that's on the form as well that people are signing. The high school team, the girls are playing in the spring, so the boys played in the fall, so it's a little less congested now on the range, and at 3:00 there's not as many people. He sent me the schedule, so all looks good. They've got a really good team this year, and we're actually hosting the state tournament for the girls, so they should do pretty well. The league and outing contracts I sent out, I pretty much gave them a deadline of April 1st, and I've received most of the contracts from leagues and outings with commitments. So we are going to be hosting, I'd say, about maybe 12 to 15 outings of 72 players or more that are shotguns. So, just that's the norm. The rate sign is in the process of being updated, so we'll put that up when we get it. And then St. Paul, they're going to host their spring junior clinic again. So, we'll continue to maybe try and get their tournament back at Timberland someday. But at least we host their junior program. Jerry and I met with our marketing manager, and we started planning. And she's been doing a nice job posting every day. She basically sets up a spreadsheet and just has me fill in the content. She asks us, Jerry and I, to write something each month for the newsletter, which, a lot of people have come in and they really like the newsletter. I don't think as many people see the social posts. I don't know what generation. I mean, the younger ones definitely see what we're posting on social, but the newsletter seems to be one of those things people like that we really didn't do in the past. So that's been a good thing. Another thing, Jerry and I met with Golf Now, and they put together dynamic pricing. So the way that works is people that book online, if they book like 1 day ahead, they get a certain discount. They book 5 days ahead, there's no discount. And it kind of gradually discounts what open tee times there are based on how busy the tee sheet is, what time of the day it is. And we've been getting a lot of bookings early in the season because the tee sheet hasn't been filled up. And even though the rate they're getting maybe like $10 off, at least they're showing up and paying it. So it's a good way to fill those open slots. As far as the GPS goes, I mean, my opinion about the conversation earlier, I don't think we need rangers if we have the GPS. It allows us to set boundaries. So, you set a boundary around a green, a buzzer is going to go off. And I mean, what it also does is you can track if, Peter is in a cart and, it's linked to him, we can see if he breaks the rules and basically goes, near the green or in the fairway when it's, cart path only. So we can link the cart with the customer. And I think it would alleviate a lot of the issues that we're seeing regarding the carts. And we could actually track it, and then maybe some disciplinary action can be taken. One of the leagues, we picked up a couple new leagues this year in the afternoon, which it's a miracle we can fit some in. One of the leagues is completely full of veterans and active military, which I think is really cool. It's on Thursdays. They like that we had a military rate, so because they have a lot of active military that are in the league. They came over from Keeney Park, and they actually increased the number of players, based on the course. So They had 20 players last year, now they have 28. Because I guess we're just more convenient for people that live in the area. So yeah, I think that's a great thing.
I like to
I did receive a message on Facebook, the Timberland Facebook page, from a Cromwell resident, and he was wondering if we would extend the resident rates to people of Cromwell.
No.
You know, I just told him I'd bring it up. One of the things that Park and Rec we did do in the past is Plainville and Cromwell residents did get the resident rate up until about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and then they got rid of it. Again, I don't feel one way or another here. I just told them I'd bring it up and let the commission think about it. But
Next.
that's exactly what I did. You can maybe talk about it at the next meeting, but I told him I'd bring it up because he wanted me to, and there you have it. The golf shop staff pretty much acquired everybody for the season with no turnover. You may see a new face or two in there, but for the most part, the entire staff is the same. The only person we're missing is TJ. He lives in Florida now. I don't think he's coming back. So big shoes to fill with the carts, but we will definitely get it done. And then just looking forward, I mean, April starts up a busy month. We've got junior programs. The Women in Wine clinics are starting up. I just sent an email out this morning about the mixed league, and we're already getting signups for that. And then there's, the club events, men's and women's club, Lady Niners, senior men. So we're definitely going to be a busy place again. I anticipate, I know everyone's saying that golf will be down. I'm not 100% sold on that because so many new people have taken up the game. And I think that the fact that we are a public golf course, if anyone's going to have golfers, it's us as opposed to the private clubs. So I think we're going to have a good year. I really do. And Jerry mentioned it's weather dependent, and it 100% is. So hopefully the weather improves. But even on a day like today, we probably did over 100 rounds of golf, and it wasn't too nice out. So I think we're going to have a decent year. If anybody has any questions for me, I'm available.
He's got his hand up.
Yeah. Bart, did you have any involvement with the drive, chip, and putt at Cromwell for Augusta? Were you involved in that?
My kid almost made it. But I actually did reach out, I want to say in the fall, to the Connecticut PGA because they run the local events like the qualifiers. And I definitely told them, if you ever think of, we'd love to host one. They don't even go on the course. They basically would just use the 2 greens in the driving range. And we could host a local qualifier. He said that the schedule was done, but he'd definitely keep us in mind for 2023. We have a lot of kids that participate in that out of town here. Probably 5, 6 made it to the regionals just from Berlin, which is impressive. But that's one of I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes with this director of golf job, and my thing is the youth programs, no matter what happens, those need to continue because they're one of the most special things that we have that makes us unique to other golf courses. And I'll use Staley as an example. They have 27 holes. They have obviously a beautiful clubhouse, huge range. It's getting, top tracer technology and all this, but they only had 3 or 4 kids in their junior league, and we had over 100. Yeah. So it just shows you that, we have something special here in Berlin that's obviously growing. So no matter what happens, I want to see that continue. As a resident, golf pro, whatever it may be, I think that's important to Berlin as a community. So.
Great. Yeah, one more question. Thank you. You fall asleep up there?
No, not at all.
The computer in the pro shop. We need to get that updated. We need to get that where people come in with an iPhone, can use their iPhone to sign in rather than giving the little card with the. I can go to Stop and Shop and use my iPhone to.
We've definitely tried. The computer has been updated. They put in a new computer, It's a little faster, but as far as like the barcode scanner, Golf Now is really the
That's
one
a no-brainer.
that's their hardware. And I did ask them earlier this year if we could get like a wireless scanner, because you know, you go to Home Depot and you can take the thing off the
Right,
and scan your own
exactly.
product. They said it wasn't available. So,
Yep.
you know, and Jerry and I have talked about maybe changing point of sale systems, or at least researching other ones that are more up to date, we'll just say.
Yeah.
I think what we're up against is like, you know, that report, whatever it's called, SOC report.
Oh, stock report, yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's what's preventing us from going cloud-based and staying with this, you know, ancient point of sale system. It's only 10 years old, but 10 years, things have come a long way.
Yeah, you know, Arosha did say that he was going to talk to New Britain and see how they're getting, how they got by, because they're doing a cloud-based system, so when I talk to him tomorrow, I'm gonna ask him that question. I will follow up on that.
Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome. Hey, Mark, I have a question.
Yes.
We, you know, not to bring up the past, but Jerry's mentioned Mark a lot, and Mark's mentioned Jerry a lot. I'm assuming that the communication between the two has improved?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
It
good.
absolutely has.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Not in a positive way.
Huh?
No,
so,
very
I
good,
mean,
really good.
Because we want to be as transparent as we can, everybody. We dedicated ourselves to being more transparent, and I want to do that. So, I mean, everything's good as far as that goes. Communication between Jerry and you guys, right?
I mean, and I'll commend Jerry. The range picker had an issue, and it was like a Friday afternoon or something, and basically the engine was shot, and he took care of it right away. So thank you for that.
No,
Mark,
Good.
that was fun.
Glad
That
to
was
hear
fun,
this.
Mark.
Yes,
It didn't look
Nancy.
fun.
Nancy.
Yes,
Mark, is the ladies' locker room finished?
yes.
All
I mean,
set?
I don't know. I mean, it's open. I'm
Okay.
not sure if there's any further plans. I mean, I
No, they
have to admit I haven't been in there. So,
There's 5 lockers. How do you determine? Do we get one of them? Is that how it works?
well, there's no lock on it, and there never really has been in there. So I guess it's just on a first come, first served basis. I mean, there's no designation for whose locker's who.
Lockers are supposed to be for the day. They're not supposed to be for temporary use for the season. Because if that were the case, then we could charge for them.
That's right.
Put your
Yeah.
order.
I mean, I always thought-
You pay a season rate for a locker.
Listen, I'd do that.
I would too, but I mean, those lockers are there for, you know, you're there for the day, you're playing golf for the day, you wanna put in your pocketbook or whatever, that's what they're for. Bring your own lock and then take the lock off when you're done.
Right, that's not how we've traditionally used them. I think what has happened is each of the ladies group, and Nancy, are there 2 or 3 ladies groups? 2 groups?
There's 2 now. There used to
Yes.
be yeah.
So, I mean, we could maybe take that offline to say, I don't know of any women that use it as a day locker. But even if the 2 women's group each took one, there'd still be 2 lockers left, and I don't think anybody, to my knowledge, did Nancy, do you know of ladies that use it as a day locker?
I love it.
No, I do not.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be,
We don't have any lockers.
yeah.
The guys don't have any lockers.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we do.
Where?
Behind the
Behind the
back.
shower.
Yeah,
Behind the shower.
You have 5 lockers, but I use them as storage.
That curtain that Haas is behind.
And years ago, we used to rent, there was a couple of years where we
Your room
didn't.
is scary.
I remember when there were a lot of lockers.
Right. And they were
I
so
use them as
close, they were
storage, just, you know, in case everyone's wondering, I use them as storage, the 5 lockers.
No, he's got to. The kid's got no place to store
I
stuff.
know.
I know.
He doesn't.
I know.
Nancy, you might wanna hear Jerry's update on the ladies' locker room.
Mrs. Berger,
Yes.
okay, so spoke with Gail, just so you're updating the women's locker room. Should I say women's?
Yeah.
Ladies, women's,
It doesn't matter,
wanna be
same thing.
politically correct.
It's like,
there's
no toilet paper.
That's not my problem. So the plan going forward is this, as you know, as you heard earlier, that we're gonna be, facilities will be, painting the exterior of the building. So that's the project for this year, as well as what they've done up in the restaurant over the winter with the dishwasher, so forth and so on. So the plan going forward for downstairs is as follows. The carpeting next winter will be torn out, in conjunction with Mark's Pro Shop in the common area, where the, where the stair, and the stairs going up, obviously. That'll all be torn out. We're gonna go with a vinyl plank flooring, similar to what they have upstairs in the restaurant. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough money this year with the, I don't wanna say renovations, but with the changes they made in the ladies' locker room over the winter. So that's the plan. Now, I'm gonna be getting some repurposed couple of chairs, a small table for the common area of the ladies' locker room. I'll be going next week, and checking that out, but that's pretty much where it ends this year. The carpet's been shampooed, there is no mold, but we wanted to do it all as one. It'll be, in the end, it'll cost less and it'll look better matching it at that time instead of piecemealing it, so that's the plan for next winter, is to get rid of all that, especially the pro shop, Fortunately, Mark's got enough of merchandise where you don't really see it, but when he empties out in winter, then you really do see, so that's what we're looking to do.
Next year.
Lounge, huh? Wow, we don't get a
A
lounge.
lounge.
I know, I was thinking.
With a coffee maker too?
We don't get a lounge.
And a couch?
It's an 8x8 room.
Still a lounge.
But we have a linoleum.
Yeah.
We have an old,
This carpet stinks.
Alright, Mark, anything else?
That's all I got unless anybody has anything for me.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yep.
A certain group over in, where are they, Portland? They started a youth program. You know about that?
Youth program in Portland.
Like,
What?
there's some sort of junior program going on. What, your junior program last year was what? AJ something, right?
PGA Junior League?
Yeah, is the group in Portland doing the same thing now?
I mean, there's a lot of places that have that. Like, we're the second largest. Lyman's the largest in the state.
Yeah, I just wondering if they've joined in your league or if they've started their own, that's all.
Oh, well, we only have our own league because we have like so many, we just do it in-house. So
Okay.
we don't have any away matches or nothing here either.
Oh, no? Okay.
I
And
mean,
Mark,
we-
they're,
yeah.
good. They're not involved in the Under Armour program, are they?
No,
No, you're the only one that's in that, right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mark. Obviously, things are starting to pick up over there and, you've got things under control there. Jerry's got things under control down there, so let's all hope for a very, very good year. And, we all work together and, be nice. Be nice to each other, be nice to yourselves.
Excellent. Motion to adjourn?
Thank you.
Second. Jim Green, can we go now? Thank you. All right, everybody. Motion adjourned. Thank you.
Have a nice evening, everybody.
Good night.
you say you?
You.